The United States finds itself caught in a pincer movement of alarming economic signals and escalating military ambitions. As recession odds hit their highest level since the pandemic, the Trump administration appears to be simultaneously laying the groundwork for a major confrontation with Iran, raising profound questions about the nation's priorities, strategic coherence, and the constitutional checks that are supposed to govern decisions of war and peace. The numbers are stark. According to the Kobisi letter, the probability of a U.S. recession within the next 12 months has surged to 48.6%, the highest since the dark days of early 2020. In just 6 months, that risk has climbed by 15 percentage points, with virtually every macroeconomic indicator flashing warning signs. Labor market deterioration, in particular, has historically served as the canary in the coal mine, and analysts warn that when these signals align, they rarely prove false. This is not merely academic number crunching. For American households already stretched thin by cumulative inflation, the specter of job losses and economic contraction carries real weight. And yet, rather than focusing on domestic stabilization, the administration's most ambitious policy push appears to be directed thousands of miles away, toward Iran. According to the Washington Post, the Pentagon is seeking congressional approval for a staggering $200 billion-plus war funding request to continue operations against the Islamic Republic. To put that figure in perspective, it exceeds the entire GDP of many nations and represents a sum that could fund infrastructure projects, healthcare expansions, or tax relief on a transformative scale. The administration's military posture is becoming increasingly explicit. Reuters reports that discussions are underway regarding the deployment of thousands of additional troops to the Middle East, including a particularly provocative option: positioning U.S. forces on the Iranian coast to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Such a move would represent a dramatic escalation, transforming what has been a maritime security mission into a direct territorial presence on Iran's doorstep. Yet this march toward potential war is proceeding on shaky legal ground. Senator Cory Booker's resolution, the third such attempt, would have required President Trump to withdraw U.S. forces from conflict with Iran absent a formal declaration of war or specific congressional authorization. It failed 53-47. With Republicans maintaining unity against what they frame as an encroachment on executive authority. The numbers tell a story, but so does the rhetoric. Senator Booker, in an interview with journalist Rachel Maddow, did not mince words. "What we are witnessing is the most monstrous strategic stupidity," he charged, describing Trump's Middle East actions as chaotic and foolish. Whether one agrees with Booker's characterization or views it as partisan hyperbole, his frustration reflects a deeper concern shared by many foreign policy realists, that the administration lacks a coherent endgame. Perhaps the most telling testimony comes from within the administration itself. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, appearing before the Senate, painted a nuanced picture. Iran's leadership has taken serious blows and is significantly degraded, but remains intact and resilient. If the regime survives the current conflict, a significant if, it will begin a multi-year effort to rebuild its missile and drone programs. This assessment raises uncomfortable questions. If Iran is degraded but resilient, what exactly is the military objective? Regime change? Complete capitulation? And at what cost? The resignation of Joseph Kent, head of the National Counterterrorism Center, adds another layer of intrigue. Kent stepped down reportedly because he believed Iran posed no direct threat to the United States, a stunning admission from a senior counterterrorism official that undercuts the administration's casus belli. Gabbard's testimony also contained a fascinating geopolitical footnote. China, India, and other nations appear to be successfully moving their tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. If accurate, this suggests that while Washington prepares for a massive military commitment, other major powers are finding workarounds, potentially undermining the strategic rationale for a high-stakes confrontation. As the economic clouds darken at home and the war drums beat abroad, a fundamental question hangs over Washington. Can the nation afford both a potential recession and a major Middle East war? Historically, military spending has sometimes acted as economic stimulus, but the scale of this proposed commitment, $200 billion as a starting figure, comes at a moment when fiscal constraints should matter most. The convergence of these storylines suggests a presidency operating on two tracks. One track confronts the limits of American power and economic fragility, while the other seems determined to test precisely how far those limits can be stretched. Whether Congress, the public, or the international community will act as a brake remains the central suspense of the coming months. What is clear is that the warning signs are flashing, economically, constitutionally, and strategically. The question is whether anyone in power is paying attention.